Good morning, citizens. This is Elemis coming to you live from the Battlespace. I just wanted to make this short video to talk about something that I've been working on as a passion project for a few months now. See, back in 1998, there was a spaceship arena brawler game known as Starship Troopers Battlespace. You could play this on AOL via GameStorm, where you had to pay by the hour. There's like $2 an hour to play. Games actually used to work like that, if you can believe it. The GameStorm servers were shut down in 2001, and the game went permanently offline. Well, I'll be honest with you, that didn't really sit right with me, and I've been working hard to try and emulate the original servers to bring the game back online. I wanted to run through where that effort is and how it's progressing. In short, it's almost there, and I need to seek community involvement from original players in the hopes of getting more of the fine details nailed down. So let's hop into what I've gotten running with some showcases and some demonstrations. So here we go. So to start with, I've designed a launcher for the game. This seemed like the easiest way to have players be able to log in, track their stats, and hop into games. So if we sign in here, we can see that I've got a bug character, and I can hit the button to change to the Federation character. Characters currently get created through the website, theonlygoodbug.com, and they persist from then on, gaining experience and leveling up. So let's give the game a launch and take a look at some of the gameplay systems. There might be some slices in the video here, as I've got to display a bunch of stuff. All right, here we go. Alright, so some things you'll notice. I got the text working up here. Sky Marshal Elemis says the only good bug is a dead bug. All of the systems here are mostly working. You can chat. You can switch ships. See your information about how you're doing. This information currently is being tracked, but I haven't gotten it quite displayed yet. Alright, let's load into our game and take a look at some of the gameplay features I've gotten running. If we hop into the Small Planet Conquer map, you can see I've spawned in as the MI carrier. I can speed up. Speed and momentum are working. I can also hit hyperdrive. Currently, this is functioning as a 4x speed multiplier. This is one of the things I need veterans to tell me if it's spot on or not. So let's fly over here to our lovely little planet Earth. Now, before I deal with the troops, let's go over some of the other things that are working. So we do have gunfire working. Guns shoot. And if you fly around, we got special weapons as well. You see us laying mines. Lastly, if I select a planet sector and select my ground fire missile, I can shoot missiles, and you'll see it tracks out to the right sector before exploding. Don't worry, it does not do damage to friendly troops, only enemy troops. Alright, so with that, you can see the planetary grid as well. We got troops spawning in currently, and let's retrieve a few. Some of the documentation I read said that you could only take up to 100 troops left, so, and 2,000 troops max in the cargo hold. So let's just grab these guys right up. Alright. And we're going to fly over to the Bugs planet. It's going to take us a little bit, even with hyperdrive, but let's get going. Alright, so while we fly seems like might be a good time to talk about some of the things that are not working. And we'll probably talk about this a little more once we get our secondary player on to help test shooting, my good buddy High Warlord JC. But right now, we have a lot of questions related to damage of both ground troops and ship weapons. It seems like all the damage calculations were handled server-side in the past, and with no server code, there's no real way to know what the actual strength of any of the weapons was. Also, ships seem to have a defense value that is higher for the bigger ships and lower for the smaller ships. We don't know how that affects damage either. Since there's some asteroids here, the rock gun and how asteroid shooting is another question. Currently it does work, but we're not sure on how much damage it really does. Alright, so we've arrived at the bug planet. Let's go ahead and give some drops. Alright, fire in the hole! So ground combat currently scales based on how many troops there are, and does not let you wipe them all out in one go. You can see there's a slow taper off here to give the defenders a little bit of time to actually respond. Alright, and there we have it. We have taken control of the sector. If we take control of 5 of the 9 sectors on the planet, we will achieve victory because the planet will be considered captured. The number of troops will continue to decrease steadily until it hits the maximum of 600 defender troops. Alright, that's this segment. Let's get our test player online and let's hop over to see some gameplay where we shoot at each other. Yeah! Okay, I've switched over to my bug character, and we're going to demo what multiplayer functionality has been finished. My test partner, High Warlord JC, is online, and in the same total occupation map as a Dirty Federation citizen, so let's load in there and cut him to pieces. I've loaded in as my bug fighter ship, and before we meet up, I am going to go grab an asteroid with my ship's rock launchers. Now that we found an asteroid, let me fly over to it and capture it. You can see it attaches to my ship and lets me fly with it. Let's fly over to Earth now, where we'll meet up with the vicious foe. And there he is! The legendary Dead Bug Dan, nightmare of larvae everywhere. Currently we have basic combat working. I can shoot at him and do damage. I can target him and shoot a missile.
And eventually he blows up and leaves an escape pod behind. This is another thing we need veteran input on, how the respawns actually worked. There are some indications in old text saying the players needed to fly back to base to get a new ship, but for the sake of modernization and testing, we've currently programmed in a respawn timer. Deadbug Dan will be back with us here in a moment. The foe never sleeps. While we wait for him to get back, let's throw that rock we picked up earlier. You can see that it flies away, and if it hits somebody, it should kill them instantly. There is talk in old text about being able to throw these at planetary sectors as well, but that hasn't been implemented yet. Alright, Deadbug Dan, there he is, now that he's back. Let's lay some mines and see him fly into some mines here. Oh, he's trying to get us! Alright, let's get some bonus points by picking up his pod and taking him back to the base for brain sucking. Again, attaches to my ship. And now I'm going to fly this back to my home base. Unfortunately, the hyperdrive meter always drops to nothing when you do an attack, so people can't jump in and out of combat and just run away. And so we're going to have to wait for the hyperdrive to recharge. Oh, he's a crafty one, but he wasn't crafty enough. Alright. With docking, the capture is executed, and we are able to either stay in the arena or exit. So let's exit, and we'll wrap this up. The end game score screen is currently working and implemented. Almost everything on it is correct and being saved to a stat portfolio behind the scenes on the server. And that's pretty much it. We are seeking veterans from when the game was running to return and provide feedback to fine-tune the systems and participate in the games. Do your part for the Federation today.
Carry on, Private.
Yes, sir!
What mysteries will the brain bug reveal? Federal scientists are working around the clock to probe its secrets. Once we understand the bug, we will defeat it. We have the ships. We have the weapons. We need soldiers. Soldiers like Lieutenant Stack Lumbers.
We're in target area now, Captain.
And Captain Carmen Ibanez.
This is the captain speaking. All personnel now prepare run.
Soldiers like Private Ace Levy and Lieutenant John Rico.
Come on, you ape! You wanna live forever!
We need you all. Service guarantees citizenship.